Welcome everyone to episode 34 of the Video Game Book Club. I'm Tubby Moore, and today I am joined by Noxo, Tailman, Soul Charizard, Bajerwin, and Mr. McMahon. Say hello, everyone. Say hello.
What's up?
Hello there.
Hello.
Ciao. Guess who's back?
Back again. This time around, we're going to be focusing on Psychonauts 2. This game was locked in by me for September 2022 3D Platformer Month. Psychonauts 2 was developed by Double Fine, published by Xbox Game Studios, and was originally released on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S on August 25th, 2021. On the Psychonauts 2 official website, it reads, quote, Rasputin Aquato, trained acrobat and powerful young psychic, has realized his lifelong dream of joining the International Psychic Espionage Organization known as the Psychonauts. But these psychic super spies are in trouble. Their leader hasn't been the same since he was kidnapped, and what's worse, there's a mole hiding in headquarters. Raz must use his powers to stop the mole before they execute their secret plan to bring the murderous psychic villain Maligula back from the dead. But that's how the website describes the game. How would everyone here describe the game? The order of presenting will be Mr. McMahon, Tubby Mora, Soul Charizard, Nakiso, Tailman, and Bajerwin. And please be advised, there may be spoilers ahead. And with that said, let's get started. Question 1. Describe the game in one sentence.
Okay, describe the game in one sentence. I said Psychonauts 2 is a true-to-heart classic 3D action-adventure platformer where you play as Rasputin, or Raz, Aquato, who is basically a psychic intern 007 that minds everyone's business but his own by infiltrating their brains and altering other people's emotions and decisions in an insanely epic mission of sanity.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. One sentence.
That was one.
You're right. It's funny because we had this discussion before. Hey, as long as there aren't any periods in there, you good.
A lot of commas.
That's a lot. That's
just a run-on sentence.
Yeah, we never said grammatically correct sentence. He just said one sentence.
It's just one sentence. It could be a paragraph as long as there ain't no periods. You good?
Yep.
It's a fair game. It's a run-on, but hey, it's
yeah.
English.
So for me, how I would describe it, a psychedelic adventure that dives brain deep into the minds of people with mental illnesses and mental problems. And it's up to you, Raz, to confront their deepest, darkest traumas. Because, if you don't do it, who will? Next.
Psychonauts 2 is a mind-blowing, mind-melting, mind-tastic sequel adventure. Next.
A 16-year-old mind-bending sequel that shows that it hasn't lost its mind with its thematic storytelling, platforming, and humor that still hits just right. Next.
This game is essentially Control for kids. Just kidding. No, I don't think people who know what Control is would get it. No, in this game no, more serious take. In this game, you literally get to play with your emotions.
All right.
Not wrong.
All right.
Yeah. We're on next.
Have you ever taken an intro psychology course? Take that knowledge, some Tim Burton-esque character designs, but add a little bit more color, and have some existential crises, plural, thank you, on different drugs. And basically, you get Psychonauts 2. But instead of therapy, a circus child puts a door on your head and fights and platforms his way into fixing you.
Question 2. What platform did you play the game on? And briefly describe your playstyle towards the game.
Okay, so I played Psychonauts 2 on PC via Xbox Game Pass with controller. And I'll touch up on the controller bit later, but I didn't bother messing with any of the difficulties, just left it on the recommended difficulty for the whole playthrough, which turned out to be just fine. It was the perfect balance, not too hard, not too easy for me. I was still dying here and there, and that was expected of me. But I finished the game around 14 hours at level 50, give or take. but I built Raz as a highly mobile glass cannon.
Hell yeah.
He was the damage class with a strong focus on Psyblast as my main source of DPS. And as for the story, I just went straight into the main story, stuck to it while collecting as much as the collectibles as I could throughout my playthrough. And that's about it. Next.
Okay, so for me, I played the PS4 Pro version of the game on the PlayStation 5, swapping between a red and white PS5 controller to make sure I had maximum playtime. If my controller died, I had to make sure I was ready to swap out. I played on the normal difficulty like McMahon me. I didn't really mess with any of the settings. What's interesting, now that I'm thinking about it, I think there was an invincibility mode too for accessibility, but
there was.
Yeah.
There was?
There was.
Yeah.
There was.
I didn't know
If you want to just enjoy the story.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which
That's
is
cool.
It's interesting because now we're starting to see that a lot of games are implementing that. I'm curious to see what like a lot of the newer game releases if they have that going forward. As long as they don't touch Dark Souls games. Okay, anyways, but in terms of playstyle, I gravitated towards a select group of psychic powers, which include Psyblast, Pyrokinesis, Telekinesis, and Levitation for the mobility. So generally, I kept all of those skills on lockdown. Most of my playthrough got me through a huge chunk of the game, and I pumped all skill points towards those skills. And of course, when needed, or if the situation called for it, I would swap out Telekinesis for whatever's needed. Like the what's that called? The one where you can make a tiny Raz.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know what you
Your
mean.
archetype.
Yeah, the archetype. But once I unlocked the time bubble, I pretty much exclusively got rid of Telekinesis and just used that because it was such a broken ability. I'm glad they kind of say that towards the end because it made the game so much easier. Quest wise, I finished and completed the main story. Took some time, actually a lot of time, exploring the world. Not with the intention of actually finding things, but just messing with every single NPC person, whatever I could mess with, because the number of programmable lines that they had for each of the NPCs was insane. Like they had a line for, if you're doing clairvoyance, if you're doing levitation, or if you're grabbing people, if you're burning them, if you're smacking them. It's just, there was so much attention to detail. Like, it was funny because we would like Nakaso or Soul would be asking me, "Hey, how far did you get?" I put in like 3 hours, but I kind of only got through like 30 minutes of progress, truthfully.
Yeah.
So that's what actually led to a lot of my game time being extended. Is just me just really messing around and exploring the world and just messing with characters. But it was beautiful. I love it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
At the end, post game, did you go to Psyking and clairvoyance his brain? Oh, so you seen what happened, right?
Yeah, I did. I went back actually, and I did do a lot of that stuff. But
so you seen the reference to Psyking?
The Psyking?
Yeah.
Oh,
who was it again? Did you say
Jack Black?
Jack Black. Yeah.
Yeah, basically Psyking.
Jack Black.
At the end, like post game.
Yeah, Jack Black.
Oh.
Also,
so you seem like a reference to Brutal Legend.
And well, no. To be honest, what I did was I was listening to the soundtrack of the game, and then that song played. When going on a tangent here, but the that song that plays, the Psyking when he's singing it, I was like, his voice sounds familiar. And when I went on Spotify, I saw it was Jack Black, so I was like, oh my god, it's freaking sick.
Oh yeah, I recommend clairvoyancing post game. It's a reference to their other game.
I need to go back and check it.
Yes,
I mean, you already said it. Brutal Legend 2 confirmed. Yeah. I hope so. That'd be sick.
Brutal Legend.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how I played the game. I played the game, explored quite a bit, didn't quite 100%. I'd probably say I hit like 80% or so. But yeah, it was a fun time. Next.
For me, I played it on the PC Steam and did it on normal mode. My playstyle, I just try to adapt on what enemy like comes after me and stuff like that, and just use like just mostly the basic abilities. What was it? I used just Side Blast, melee combat, telekinesis, levitation, and my left bumper, which is the mostly either the grappling one or just like either the slow time one or like using the archetype as a decoy, depending on like how many enemies there are. As for me, I barely did any side quests, just focus on the story, and yeah, it was really interesting how it all kind of went. It kind of went did a little plot twist at the beginning, even though I've never played it. So yeah, next.
All right. Well, I played on the Xbox Game Pass and I used my PS4 controller. I beat the game around like, I'm gonna say like 22 hours in after doing everything in the game. This is the first game ever since Halo 3 where I actually 100%ed every single thing in the game, getting all the achievements. And I also did the same thing with Psychonauts 1. So I was like, you know what? I gotta live up to that tradition that I do with a few games. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a blast, literally, as my playstyle. My playstyle, I usually went with the Side Blast. You know, that's pretty strong. Especially you could pretty much spam that, especially when you get the later upgrades. Then I also went with, of course, melee. That was the primary one. And then I threw some when I got it, eventually the time bubble, that was super strong as well later on in the game. Yep. Like those were the three in terms of abilities and attacking. And of course, pretty much like 80%, I had the whatchamacallit, the movement ability with the ball.
Oh, levitation.
Levitation. Yeah.
That was great.
Literally, I had that for movement. It was really useful when I had to do a lot of backtracking. And overall, I took my time with the game. You know, obviously, I waited like 16 years for this, so I really wanted to start early on in the month. And I spent most of a week, a little bit over a week, just focusing only on that game in terms of games that I played. And yeah, it was great. I didn't have any issues or bugs I ran into while playing on the Game Pass, which is good because sometimes that happens. And overall, it was a wonderful experience. Next.
Okay, so I played it on PC. Halfway through, I went from keyboard. Halfway through, I played it on controller.
Dang, keyboard. That must have been an experience.
It wasn't actually not that bad on keyboard.
Okay.
I actually liked it because you aim faster on keyboard than you could on controller. So maybe that was it. But
and then you realized the precision on some parts.
Yeah, and then like, you know what? All right, we're going back to keyboard for some parts. But then some other parts, I went to controller. So that was that. My playstyle was kind of all over the place, sort of like a jack of all trades. Some parts I would use melee, get up close and personal. On some parts I would use the Side Blast, and some parts I would use the what's it called, the time bubble and all that to do stuff on the side. I'd use the archetype to do all that. Sometimes use levitation to just mess around and like juke enemies. So I didn't really focus on one per se. I kind of used everything equally. So I was always constantly switching abilities every other second just to like switch it up. So I didn't really focus too much on one ability. So I was kind of like a jack of all trades essentially. And then as for the game, I played the main story quests as well as doing some side quests. I came along, so if I could find half a brains, some emotional baggage. Trying to find some of the collectibles, interact with the NPCs like Tubby did, explore the level just to see, how much design went into things, all that stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't really 100% it. I think I was like levels 40 something, I think, when I finished it. So, but yeah, next.
So I actually did download this both on my PC and on specifically my roommate's Xbox One.
All right.
But for some reason, my PC just couldn't handle. It didn't like playing the game for long periods of time, and it would just crash.
Dang.
And I don't know if that's because my PC sucks and it needs an update or whatever, or I don't know what's wrong. But I was like, well, it's a good thing it's on the Game Pass because I can play on the Xbox. And I just I didn't get very far, but it still transferred my save point over.
Okay. That's
so
good.
Yeah, it was nice. I'm like, yeah, they're getting better with this Game Pass situation because I remember in the early days of Video Game Book Club. Yeah, just go back to those episodes and you hear me ranting about it.
Just losing data.
Yeah. And I don't wanna bring it down.
Yeah, no need to relive that. Get that out of here. This is for Psychonauts.
Psychonauts 2 was just it made me so happy. But basically I played on the Xbox One, specifically the white model without the little disc thing.
All right.
Got specific. Oh no, blue Xbox controller.
The non-disc reading one.
Yeah, for losers. Anyway. Sometimes
I agree.
Thank you. Sometimes I played on the floor, under my trampoline chair with a cat on my lap. Sometimes I was on the couch. And this is the kind of game that you should have multiple ways to technically play. Because it brought me back to good console era. Okay. Does that make sense?
No, it 100% makes sense. There's other people who made that comparison.
I'm glad I didn't. My PC couldn't handle it because if I played that on my PC, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it the same. Because when I was able to play in the living room and just sprawl, walk to the kitchen real fast and not have to worry about not hearing it because of my headphones or whatever, it was great. It was beautiful. And it was nice to see on the screen. And everything. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was just it felt good. It felt right.
The last time it was on console was the PS2 era, so it's probably why it also has that nostalgic feeling to it.
I'm glad it had transferred over even to an Xbox, but and also it probably hurt my back if I had, because I with games like this, good console games, I want to binge it. So I'm glad I didn't sit at my desk because I think I would be 5 inches shorter from how bad I'd be slouching. This is literally what platform did I play? I literally am discussing how I played it, but
literally how I played it.
And then okay, but actually in the game, I had Sayu'd my way through references. Genshin, hey, what's good? I had used the levitation ball all the time, every time. I basically kept my trigger buttons because when you first learn the abilities, they kind of go to some basic button, but then you can change them to whatever you want as you play. But I kept my levitation ball on my left trigger and my grabby thing, the telekinesis one, with my right trigger, and then the bumpers were just rotating out whatever I needed at that moment. Mostly my left bumper was the most rotated one because I like to keep roughly the same 3 abilities. Yeah. And I didn't even really use physical attacks that often. I like to play far away because since it's mostly a platforming game outside of all the other stuff, I was I'm very impatient, so platforming can be hard for me. So instead of having to focus on platforming and fighting, why not just stay away, not platform as hard, and just chuck things at them or
kill
pew,
from
pew,
a distance.
Pew. Exactly.
Beautiful.
I might have also picked that up because of all the Monster Hunter I've been playing.
Definitely translates over 100%.
Yeah, exactly. The same game and everything. I did most of the side quests. I almost finished the one for that girl who took your clothes, where you're on a scavenger hunt. I only have 3 left. I have 3 left, and I was dedicated. I'm maybe I'll get to it before I finish this game. I did it, but I'm impressed that I got a lot of those side quests out of the way, and they weren't even annoying. It was just wow, I really want to explore. I kind of don't want to get to the end game yet, so let me just fool around and do these side quests instead.
Plus, you're on a time crunch too, so it's also a piece of it.
No, I did spend a lot of time. I didn't want to get to the end because I liked the game. So I kept playing side quests to elongate my playtime.
Oh, okay.
See, it's the exact opposite this time.
All right, sounds good.
I even went back after. Like, this is a game I wish I could 100%, but I also am really bad at platforming, so I don't think it's possible.
Gotcha. Question 3. What is one thing you liked about the game?
One thing I liked about the game, gosh, honestly, this question, it had me stumped. And
Loaded.
As I played through the game, seriously, I was taking mental notes of things that I liked about it. But the more I played, the list of things I liked, it just became so long, and I struggled to pick only one thing. But ultimately, the one that I decided to talk about was, how well the game portrayed emotions and senses in people's minds. Seeing that you spend 90% of the game inside of a person's psyche, there are just way too many examples to elaborate on. But the first one that comes to my mind, and I think is the perfect example, because it also just happens to be my favorite level, is the Psy King's Emporium. My God, this level was god tier in level design. But as far as senses go, just like playing through the level was so enticing. You could almost like smell and taste the level as you played through it. The levels that looked and felt chaotic and anxious were inside of chaotic and anxious minds, and the levels that looked and felt happy and sad were inside of happy and sad minds, etc., etc. I could go on and on talking about it, but honestly, I'm not very good at explaining it. Hopefully you guys are catching on to what I'm saying, but like it just sounded better in my head. But at any rate, I'm sure you'll get what I'm trying to say. In essence, the level design tied into the mind's senses and emotions so well. And that to me was a unique emotional roller coaster of an experience that I'll probably never forget. It was great. Next.
Yeah, just kind of building up on, I'm glad you were talking about the world design, because the world design
is insane.
Is absolutely insane. It is just the sheer amount of creativity. Because, there are games with just like creativity just for this sake of creativity, but this game had, it's creativity with purpose.
Basically how your mind would be.
Yeah.
Like thousands of different random things, but they all come together and make sense in the way they portray that specific mind.
Yeah. Just like, especially the very first world, I was just blown away at how much of an interesting take it was with I forgot her name. The person,
director?
Yeah, the director that you
Lady
infiltrated.
Hollis in her mind.
Hollis?
Yeah, Agent Hollis. She after spoiler alert, after Raz kind of made that mistake, and then essentially it turned her mind into the mind of a gambling addict.
A gambler.
I was like, ooh, this hits close. This is the gacha community right here. It was just interesting because like you saw her mind portrayed, when she was working as I think like she definitely worked in the medical field, and then watching that layer get completely skewed and messed up because of the whole gambling aspect of it. Like when you're running through that 2D side-scrolling X-ray section.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is so clever. I was like, oh my God, I mean, we could honestly do a whole video just freaking dissecting each of the worlds, and it's insane level of creativity. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. And kind of like
amazing.
What McMahon said, it's just it is a reflection of each of these people's inner personas, their minds, the things that are troubling them, and it's such a unique way of doing it. But I'm glad you said that one, because for mine, just like for you, this was very tough. I did have a list, and it kept getting bigger, and then it got so big I just didn't know where to go. But I would say the best thing about this game, or one of the best things about this game, and just the best thing about Psychonauts as a series, is the sheer level of creativity and attention to detail when it comes to representing the human psyche. Specifically, I'm going to talk about is the awesome enemy design. Like they really went crazy with this. Like, you have the classic, the sensors running around and stamping out thoughts that don't belong, aka you in your face. They had the new enemy type, the regrets. Flying enemies carrying the full weight of regret and trying to drop them down upon you. They had bad ideas. They exist in everyone's head. It can be a real problem, especially, when they blow up in your face, and they took it literally. It's an enemy that specializes in explosives.
Yep.
It's like tie it all together, you know, with the enablers, an enemy that helps buff the other
I hated
enemies.
those
I hate
Makes
enablers.
them
I swear to
stronger.
God. I hate the enablers so much.
I'm just gonna say, like, the enemy design, how they played, the concept of what they each represent, it was amazing. Like, you got yourself one hell of a enemy design roster that really took up the true meaning of what it means to have and fight negative thoughts. And I was just like, I get it, guys. You're a design team. You guys are freaking insane. So yeah, enemy design on top of the world design that McMahon was saying, spot on. Freaking love it. Next.
Well, everyone was talking about the same thing, but everyone's talking about the same one, about the stages and having their own unique personalities and stuff. But jeez, I thought I had that ready.
Hey, I mean, you can always do a specific world
You can
or
build
something.
upon it.
You can build on it.
Yep.
Dang.
I don't know how it's hard. It's hard because all those characters' minds of what they're going through is really interesting. It's like how, and with, jeez, I had it all under my head, but now it's like messed up again. Crap.
It's okay. Just got to make those mental connections. Got to cut that power up real quick.
No, don't make the wrong one. You might end up in the Lady Octopus.
Oh,
Don't do
God.
that.
Yeah, that's gonna be an issue.
It's okay.
I already made that mental connection.
Oh,
You
God,
move.
please. Yep. Darn it.
Don't even
Well-
think. Just start talking.
Basically,
I'm
yeah.
hearing a lot of sensors running around. Come on.
I'm trying. Hang on.
Listen, man, don't worry. I got nothing either. I'm making this up as I go.
I had it planned, but I guess I'll talk about a bit of the combat. I guess.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting how you have once you like unlock all these abilities, you can test out how you want to fight and how you want to take out your enemies. Like Side Blast, if you want to go for like long range, you can use the telekinesis and the Side Blast.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not good with the melee if you have like fully upgraded melee, you can just use the levitate ability and like try to gain distance and try to fight, just like fighting long range. Or if you're like really want to get into a brawling thing, use the grappling ability and then just go ham on the and using the jump levitation ability and just like pound on the enemy like that. And the time bubble, it's like one of those wild cards, and just like if you're like having issues like with brawling and trying to deal with variety control, I feel like the archetype can help distract the enemies as you're like picking off the enemies one by one using either your brawling abilities or your long range abilities just to keep them off of you, or at the very least use archetype and the pyroblast. The what's that
Pyrokinesis.
ability called? Pyrokinesis, and just like use the archetype as a sacrifice and just take out the whole right group.
Yeah, that's essentially what I use mine for. I use them as a strat, like a monkey bomb and cause zombies or something. Hey, go after him. Let me heal up real quick.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's about it. Next.
One thing I liked about this specific game, everyone kind of touched on a lot of the design of the world, which is great. One of the standouts, especially in recent times with a lot of other platforming games, this one honestly stood out in terms of the variety. However, I'll just go on to something that I hope that other people listen. Specifically, Toby, I know you are a fan of the music in video games.
Hell yeah.
Music is no exception. Where did I start? Of course, we could go back to the first one with McMahon Meat, the Psy King. That whole Jack Black song. It's great.
It was good, dude. I was like, give me the full song.
That was like so crazy when I like knew it was Jack Black. Like after you fix Psy King's mind and then that song plays, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of the best standouts. And also just the main themes of the worlds, they really fit with the tone, especially when you go to the game show Ram It Down.
Oh my god. Yeah, the music always matches the tone of the level, which is great. Or like the one that looks like the Germ City, you can tell it's based off like 1960s New York.
Mm-hmm.
I was loving that one. That was fun. And then the freaking cities were all based off like puns off of bowling. I'm like, that's the kind of and the music, it's great.
Mm-hmm. But can I say, why did the boss music for Ram It Down go so hard? It's like I thought this was gonna like be a game show. It was like freaking guitar riffs.
It had no right being that catchy if we're speeding like 3 stuff like puppet goats. I'm like, what the heck is this game?
I was impressed. And then you have the Tomb of the Sarcophagus, where it turned into like a really dark and kind of intense theme as you find out the story as it progresses, specifically for that level. Mm-hmm. And also one thing that you might you really had to listen to it, but if you listen to forward crawlers when you're in the typewriter section, if you listen to the music, you actually hear the typewriter like buttons being played with the music and melody specifically. It's like something that a little detail, like wow, they really went hard with a lot of the details and the music to fit the levels and themes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And they also implemented maybe not fully they didn't really fully put the songs in, but they had elements of the Meat Circus song in there, like they would mix it.
Mm-hmm.
They also had the original Psychonauts theme, Ford Crullers Psychonauts theme. Like I heard that mixed in, so it's just like nice callback.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I mean that jingle that plays, 2 jingles that everyone's gonna notice is the Bobby Zilch that section, and then what the frick's the other one that I was gonna mention? It'll come to me, but continue.
Just in general, though, I was so surprised. I listened to the OST just to get some refreshing thoughts back into my brain after bidding it earlier on in the month. And I was surprised of how all the themes came together and pretty much played into each other. I didn't really dislike any of the music. It was all fit its specific world in mind. It was like really impressive of how the game with the level design conveys each theme, and some of them are more subtle and melancholy, like Bob's Bottles, where you could definitely tell that was like one of the most intense and depressing and really effed up minds, just by how the music plays, and like it's very slow compared to some of the other music, like Cassiopeia, where her mind is, it's in the library. Most of the characters kind of minds are all over the place. Hers is, as a Fisted theme, more organized. So her theme is like pretty much pretty chill, as you would like listen to. It's just I appreciate the music and how it stood out so much. Next,
it kind of makes sense though. I looked into it. I was like, who composed the Psychonauts 2 soundtrack? It's the same guy who did the Psychonauts 1 soundtrack. They brought him back, Peter McConnell, who also did the soundtrack for Brutal Legend. So,
really? What the heck?
That's why there's that high level of consistency between all the games.
What sucks is I never played the first Psychonauts, but
it's worth it, man.
I only heard of first Psychonauts through a cheat in G4 TV.
Oh, whoa.
That's so specific.
I know, right? I know. It was like a long time ago, though. Kind of missed that show, really.
And I'm pretty sure, did you ever see me play the game?
No, not really.
It must have just been Tailman then.
Yeah, I only saw you. I think the only time I saw you play video games was True Crime LA or something like that, and then Kingdom Hearts.
True Crime LA and then Kingdom Hearts.
So
the polar opposite games.
Well, that's what I saw him play.
Classic.
No, it's just funny that you saw him play polar opposite games, Kingdom Hearts, and then True Crime.
I know.
It's like classic. What the heck?
Classic.
Because I think that's almost the first time when we first met. And
then
when you brought your PS2, and then I just saw you play that game.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Oh my god, it's great. Okay, So it's Tailman next.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it, dude.
So the one thing I liked in this game, of all things I wasn't expecting, was kind of how they sort of dealt with the topic of mental health and the themes within each person's minds. Like you can instantly sort of tell from the character, and then once you get into their minds, like kind of the emotion that they're dealing with. So it was already discussed, but you can tell when they're dealing with regret, fear, anxiety, depression, and I think another one. What was the last one? What's it called?
Isolation.
Yeah, there you go. Isolation. So you can tell, not only from the level design, but from I feel like the music also helps convey that emotion, like kind of what they're experiencing in their minds, per se. And I kind of liked how they sort of almost, what's it called? The way they portray and the way you deal with it in the game. And then, like, if you manage to do some of the extra little, chasing some of the, what's it called? Those little safe things, and you beat them up, and then you get like the extra input.
Yeah, the memory vault.
And maybe I'm thinking the memory vault. If you do that as well as sort of getting visual cues from like the environment you're in, and sort of like the overall music and tone, and like kind of like sort of I guessing the scenarios that you got to deal with in the game. You feel what that person is feeling, and then when they also manage to make you feel a little bit of empathy for the enemy. Like for example, Dr.
Lobato.
Lobato, yeah. He was the bad guy in the first game, I would assume, since he's like the thing. And like, I thought he was gonna be a bad guy. And then like, playing through his levels, his level, and then like kind of seeing what he was kind of put through. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit I kind of felt a little bit bad for the guy, like even though he's the bad guy, like he went through his own sort of thing, and you kind of felt bad, like who would do this to him, and then kind of wondering. So I kind of like the way that the game sort of deals with that, with the idea of those, in an interactive form. And even though the game is very, you can tell it's like a childish game, there are some elements that actually kind of like you can actually be terrified of in the game.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of heavy topics being discussed in the game. Like for example, I think the one that stood out to me the most was when you go into when you get all three pieces for Ford's mind, right, and then you're on the last piece with him. You know it's gonna get real when it says, "All right, you better finish everything out before you do his mind," because you don't know what to expect. Like, oh shoot, it's getting real. Like the part when you get to the graveyard and run into the grave, I instantly had a feeling something was gonna get real dark real fast. Especially when he was like, "This is the only way to show you." I'm like, Ford, what the heck did you do? And then when the thing came out, I was like, bro, this is a lot of stuff for a little 10-year-old to be exposed to. So much, and yet to remember, like, even though it's been 17 years, I tend to forget all this first game, second game, and that little in-between game all take place within a few days of each other. So like, this poor kid is getting like scarred for life. Like, dude, he's seen some things he doesn't need to see, and then and then like it was pretty heavy considering it's a kid's game. Like, bro, how do you deal with that as a kid? And then Raz managed to take it somewhat.
Yeah,
stoically.
He's literally living through everyone's greatest fears. Problems. It's
exactly. I'm like,
crazy.
How's this kid has
cojones?
Yes, cojones, man. Like
this kid has got some balls to be going through these minds and trying to fix their souls or what in their minds and such like that.
Exactly. Like this Raz has seen some stuff, man. I'm like, this time I'm being serious.
It must have been like dealing with when dealing with his family, like not being a psychic and stuff like that.
That doesn't help either. That's like, God damn,
and he must have had some sort of he must have had some sort of like sturdiness going on, or like adaptability to
he's definitely
negativity.
He can definitely adapt to his environment. Like,
however, he was almost not prepared when he realized that his Nona was not his actual grandma.
She was what was it? The arugula?
No,
We definitely played the game, by the way.
Arugula. That's. I'm thinking of food. Maligula. There we go. We all have our own Maligulas, right?
Yeah, actually, that was such a strong line. Like we all have like
it's true though,
but we just
but we know how to keep it locked down.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most important thing, because it's just it doesn't. Especially when people go through severe trauma, it's like if you're not careful on who your support system is and how you're handling it, it can pretty much this game. That's what can happen. Like a lot of these people, they were broken. Raz came in, helped fix it,
and help
them heal. Which is like definitely a great thing about this game. It's just it has that mentality to always push forward, no matter how bad things get. It will be okay. It'll be okay. You just gotta get some help you through it. We'll keep moving forward. And I'm glad it didn't like, even with like the major villains of the game, Lobato, Maligula. It's like it kind of painted them in a light of they're not like
evil,
they're not,
like
they're not super evil. They're just very sick and they need help.
Except for that one person that
she did kill a lot of people. She even said it.
Oh yeah,
yep.
Yeah, she snapped.
The part I did like.
Look at the end.
With the sister.
That was so surprising. I was like, okay, so she's gonna be no, they're gonna turn her back, that side back to good. But then she said, so what?
So
I killed
what?
a lot of people. I was like, wow.
Hey, yo, this girl.
She just she just did a 180 turn right there.
See.
Like, I'm
that
bad.
Stage, now that is the point of no return. That's a psychopath.
Yeah, like, I'm bad. So be it. Time to get back at it.
Why? But
shoot,
I love that they did that. Like, they just didn't turn it back because.
Yeah, because
you can't just like turn something back that quick.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of shows and like TV shows for like children
or video games.
Yeah, you expect, I've been bad. I'm sorry. They become good. Like that's not how it works, man. Once you've been bad,
when they do these interviews or these segments on like serial killers throughout history, it's like why did you do it? Why did you murder that entire family and burn all their children? And it's just I don't know.
I was bored.
Just because I could.
Why not?
It's just like that at that point there's no
you can't fix that.
There's no fixing that.
There's nothing left to fix.
Fine, minus that part, healing and whatnot.
Oh yeah. I also like the Godzilla boss battle at the end. I was like, what the frick?
Oh yeah, where Raz becomes a giant.
And he's fighting like Godzilla with the stomp and the fire breath. Like, piss me with that. What the heck?
Oh, man.
This is reference to Psychonauts 1.
Yeah, that's a big Psychonauts 1 reference.
Oh, that was a reference to Psychonauts.
Is it really? I didn't know. I never played.
Look up Psychonauts Gogglelore.
Gogglelore. Or play it yourself.
Yeah, or play it yourself.
Gogglelore?
It's worth playing.
One thing, I'm going to interpret this a little different. So, like, talk about things at the same time of the one thing. Well, technically it's about the game, so isn't it one thing? Anyway, I'm stalling. One thing I loved, like the first thing I noticed and like I wanted to talk about during this segment was that they took the time to give you an entire like beautiful backstory, like a little here's what happened basically, without like overdoing it. It covered all the areas, but then also in the beginning they included that mental health advisory.
Yes,
and I feel like that's so freaking important, especially with the nature of this game because it's about psychology and all that stuff. I don't know, it just that sold me. I just think that's so important. I read through it and I'm just like, it's nice that they warn you ahead of time what content would be in there, if it would be something that would bother you, as well as like it should be a therapeutic healing experience. Like they acknowledge that this is what they want to do, and honestly I think they really did give me some therapy with this. I feel like people don't give video games enough credit as a therapy option, especially in certain other ways, not just to like de-stress, but also like to play some character, for example, and just to go through certain struggles or events that can actually be very good for your own mental health. And I did feel that with this game. And there were a few times I wanted to cry, but not because like of whatever trauma. It was just such a good thing to see it portrayed and done effectively, especially with how they took, I guess, like people have like those inner thoughts. They have those intrusive thoughts, or they have panic attacks, all those things. The way that they used them as enemies inside those minds, I thought was really unique, and how your abilities are better suited for some of them, like slowing down that speed panic monster thing.
Yeah. Very creative.
And it was like they really went all in with that the words. But just actual psychology related terms, and then having it being used in this video game to tell the story as well as to create obstacles. It was just so good. I could talk about that all day, man. Even if I run out of words, I could talk about it all day. But then it felt. Oh yes, sorry. What?
I mean, we could look at with the other group. Like we were just talking. Like we could literally do a recording for each of the person's minds and kind of dissect all the different fears and stuff that they had. It's just it was that in depth and that creative, and this game is just on a different level when it comes to creativity. Remember that other game we played earlier this year, Artful Escape?
I did actually. I was gonna make a reference to that if I had a chance, like if I was still recording with everyone. But what's his name? Helmut? Yeah, because you know how we don't realize it's him until later. His whole mind thing was based on the band. That the colors, the visuals, all of that gave me Artful Escape vibes, just to the max. But like, what Artful Escape, if it was meant to be more, like, if it had more game mechanics, that could have been Artful Escape, in my opinion.
This game was like, definitely took a lot of elements from Artful Escape, but it had gameplay to back up its purpose, which definitely separates this game from that. Which was, I mean, that other game wasn't bad. You guys can go back and listen to that recording about everyone's opinion, but again, it was really lacking in the gameplay department, and Psychonauts 2 delivered. If you want a game that's all about finding yourself or whatever, like something about those good emotions or whatever, that kind of journey, but you want the gameplay to back it up, Psychonauts 2. If you want the journey but not necessarily are into the gameplay itself because you're not very good at games or something, then maybe Artful Escape would be more your style. But it was a creative and therapeutic experience, and I really appreciate games that do more than just, waste some time or whatever. Gosh, this was able to take such serious topics and make them palatable. And I feel like that's really hard, especially when some people don't, one, believe in mental health, two, understand mental health. And it's just, it for people who are blind to their own internal suffering, I guess, it could theoretically open up their mind. I was gonna say eyes, but mind just makes, for the pun, it makes more sense. Their mind
open up their mind. Literally open that door.
Literally.
To what they could be improving about themselves. And like, it doesn't have to be a hard look, but just like oh, wait a second, why am I relating to this? And it's a little bit easier to understand it because of the nature of the game than with other genres, I guess. Next. What
is one thing you did not like, and how would you improve it?
One thing I did not like about Psychonauts 2. So throughout my entire experience with Psychonauts 2, there was really only one single thing that truly bothered me. And that was it has nothing to do with the game, but it was the skill mapping on the controller. In Psychonauts 2, you could freely map whatever skill you want to any of the shoulders and triggers on the controller. That's it. I really like the idea. Initially, it wasn't a problem for me, but as you progress through the game, you obtain more and more skills, and I believe it was up to a total of maybe 8, give or take. Correct
I think it was
me if I'm
8.
wrong.
Yeah.
But at any rate, you got four buttons, right? You got your shoulder buttons, you got your triggers. That's 4 skills. You have a total of 8. So at any rate, along with obtaining new skills, you're presented with different scenarios that oftentimes requires specific skills equipped with your loadout in order to proceed. If the required skill wasn't in your current loadout, you would have to open up your skill menu, rebind your skills accordingly so that you could progress, that sort of thing. Same thing would happen in combat scenarios. Now, I was very meticulous about how my skill binding was set up, and especially when it came to combat. So if I was traversing through a level without my combat skill bindings equipped and suddenly found myself in combat, I'd have to open up my skill menu and remap my skills to the controller. Now, sometimes I'd be so fed up with opening the friggin' skill menu.
Yes.
And sometimes I didn't even bother equipping my combat skills. I was just like, whatever. I'll just make do.
That was one of my complaints too.
Yeah.
Bro, I know I like switching abilities, but this is becoming absurd.
Yeah, it was too much at some times. But what I'm trying to say is that for me, the constant skill swapping between traversal and combat, it was really tedious and inconvenient, and it did bother me quite a bit and kind of pulled me out of that immersion that I was in. But something that I think I would have liked to see is additional options for button mapping. That wasn't an option in the game, right? I'm just thinking about that now.
As far as I know, I don't think it was. I think it was really.
I should have checked first. Yeah. Okay. Cool. But with that, anyway, throughout my playthrough, there were many buttons on my controller that I did not press, and I could have easily bound frequently swapped skills to those buttons if I had the option to do so. I mean, there are many ways I can think of. One thing would be the D-pad, for example. I know those were bound to other things, but I let the player bind the skills to the D-pad. If you, yeah, I mean, I know, those are bound to other things, but what was it, like items, something or another? I mean, you could bind that to something else, but then how about you press a button and open up an item wheel?
Yep.
Instead of a skill wheel.
Maybe that that one button that was only used for interacting. Maybe that triangle button, or I guess on Xbox that'd be Y. The Y button. You could have held that down. Other games have done it. Ratchet and Clank.
Careful.
Ratchet and Clank.
Calm down. They're only in their 16th year.
16th year, man. This is pretty rough for them.
But I mean, like, I don't think I ever used items in the game. I don't think I did. But I mean, if you were, I'm pretty sure you weren't using the items as much as you were swapping out skills. And I was always swapping skills. But being able to map my skills to the D-pad as well as the triggers and shoulders, and having my items on an item wheel bound to a single button, that would have made this game a much more pleasant experience for me. But I mean, that was just, one minor thing. It's not even a problem with the game with itself. It's just, I guess, just the controller thing. But that was my only issue, really. That's it. Next.
Yeah, I'm with McMahon Meat here. That was really my biggest glaring issue with the game.
Okay, it's not just me.
No. Cool. I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, especially when you got past the 4 skill, you start to get 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just
like, here we go.
The quick select would have been very helpful. Skill wheel. They like Nuxo said, they are only on their 16th year, so maybe they'll get to it in their 28th. But skill wheel would have been awesome. I'm gonna have to think of something else real quick. Let me see. Let me pick somewhere else on this list. Okay. And this isn't really something I didn't, like, quote unquote, did not like, but I just think it would be cool if they had shown more of it. Because throughout the game, they kind of build up who the core members of the Psychonauts were, like who the founding members, and playing up how amazing their powers were. In True Psychic Tales episode 40 million, You know, like every time Raz is always like making references about these amazing things that the psychics have done. Yeah, I would have really loved to see. You know, I'm glad that the interns helped out, but I really would have loved to see the core Psychonauts members really face down Maligula with you. Because at the end it was just like, you know, of course they helped you get into the mine and they were trying to control it, but it's like I would have loved to see the extra layer. Like it was cool seeing Raz's family kind of come together and help him get through this.
I mean, it makes sense with the family because that's his first time confronting the water.
Yeah,
that was like a plague during the first and second, so it made sense. But I could see your angle too, what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I loved the family aspect. I loved like the interns were helping. I just wish there was a section for the core Psychonauts members to really like shine. No, show their powers. That the plant controlling powers, the animal controlling powers. You know,
like actually be utilized.
Yeah, because these guys are supposed to be the strongest psychics like in the world, essentially. Like that's. They're essentially the freaking, sorry for all the anime nerds here, they're like the Hokages. Naruto, you know, like the Hokages. They're like the pirate kings of the world. You know, this is their moment to really show how powerful they are. Because if you look at Raz, it's like I haven't really seen a character, you know, other than Maligula to really match his power. Raz. I would say Raz is more scarier than a lot of these people for what he's accomplished.
And what he knows.
At that age, imagine if he became a villain. But that's a different discussion for another time. But yeah,
I hope Oxnot Stir he becomes a villain.
That'd be sick.
I would actually like to see Ford help out more during the final battle. If it was like one on one, especially with the theme.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he does help a lot, but for that final one, I think that would have been sick to see as well.
Just like
to see like how powerful he is.
Yeah. Just like when we were in the depths of Maligula's mind, right? And then Ford was kind of just standing there with, man, I get it, I guess. It just would have been cool to see them help out more. And the reason why I was hoping for more from these core Psychonauts members was because in the beginning, during that casino mission, like that was the first time in the Psychonauts game series that we saw characters actively helping you as you were moving through the level.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
I wish there was more of that.
Like you guys remember that, right? During the casino heist and the interns?
I remember that.
Yeah. Like
they were helping you move around.
I wanted that, but at the end with the Psychonauts founders.
Oh, that would have been sick.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
So, yeah, that's just, again, there's nothing, it doesn't really take away from the ending. I thought the ending overall wrapped up very nicely. It would have been awesome to see that.
It'll be a DLC thing.
One day, next.
Again, I think this is just me, but I feel like there should be like every time when you go to someone's mind, I feel like there should be like some sort of mini map or like not like when you go to the selection, you like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, like the Zelda boss dungeons or the dungeons where they always have a map. I feel like that would be kind of nice to have, just to know like where you're going at least. It's because there are times I feel like I'm a little bit confused of where to go next. I know I know like in the Mother Lobe there's once you go inside the atrium there's always like those signs that shows where to go. But I mean, like if you're going to someone's mind, there should be at least like some sort of mini map or like a dungeon map that can be shown on your HUD. Not like when you're going to the inventory menu, like the journal. So and see where you're at, because it only shows. I know it shows like the directories, like the questionable area, the Mother Lobe area, the Psychonauts area. But when you're going to, yeah.
The Nerf Center, yeah.
But when you're going to someone's mind, there needs to be like a mini map for you to collect, so you know like where to go, where to get these collectibles and stuff like that, or like just like subtle hints. I mean, if they can't do that, at least give out like really, really subtle hints of where to go, not like a game journalist kind of hint, just like
Call of Duty follow NPC.
Yeah, like Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. So it doesn't get the players so confused in the map, or like get them so distracted of what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm actually very glad you bring up the navigation thing because
yeah, me too. Especially because I thought 100% it. So this stands out a lot with having 100% and finding out what figment. One figment.
Oh really?
Like you're missing one little piece. What is it?
Oh yeah. Like the Psy King. I spent like 2 hours in there looking for like
2 hours in there. I think I spent about a couple hours in Bob's area.
You know what they should have gave you? And I could be wrong. After you beat the game and you want to go back, they should have gave you like something similar to like the thought tuner to help you locate the last pieces. I think would have been a good idea.
A special thought tuner instead of the thought tuner that you get from Auto. Well, you can't let that might explode someone's mind or your mind.
Yeah, something like that would have been nice for like end game players who want to go back. Because I mean, it's like you've already done your majority of your exploring. I think that's a smart way to approach collectathon games. Like the first run through is like, for fun, just going through it, and then for the really hardcore players, they provide you the tools to help you do that 100%. It's interesting that you bring up the navigation though, because I feel like this is a hard one, and there's a lot of debate on it, like whether or not games, like certain games, do need quote unquote maps. Because I feel like if a game is very well designed, and I'm going to reference this a lot anytime we talk about 3D platforms, is like Banjo-Kazooie. I don't think that really had a truly detailed traditional map, and it's because if a game is properly designed and they give you points of interest, the player will automatically learn where everything is just by running through. They shouldn't get lost. That's how you know how level design is like at its best. But,
that would be really nice.
But yeah, I don't know, Noxa, were there tools to help you 100% or not really?
I know there's the brain tumbler you can go back. I know there's the brain tumbler that you can go back to.
Yeah.
Like the other places.
There was? Okay. Yeah. That's good.
I'll tell you what it was called. It's called Google.
The ultimate weapon.
The ultimate tool.
We're not trying to lean on Google that much, you know that, right? Because we're trying to also find out how we need, like, through the collectibles.
No, that's just
one thing. Can't find it after 3 hours. Eventually I'm gonna throw in the towel, bro.
I did like 80% of a mine, but some of those figments were so like, oh man, this could be another dislike. Some of those figments were so hard to see. I literally had to like Google it, and then even with Google, I had to like go into the inventory and see what specific figment, because you can actually see which one you're missing. And I had to like literally scour each part step by step, like for 10 seconds, looking around from a high spot. It was
that's bad.
Yeah, having something that can assist, that give you clues to and at least in a location, just like in a radius of where it is. I don't want them to flat out say it, but if it's like a radius of that location you're in, it'd be great.
Hey, like the thought tuner actually works with other things. Dr. Otto actually got to work inside the mine somehow.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting. It's a little sus. All right, Nux. So it's all you.
That's next.
Next. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? This is great. I can actually
Man. He's brought out the Bible again.
I think Noxo's biggest thing was already said.
Oh yeah, that was like
the
back, like, man, there's like so many good things I could I have like 4 dislikes on here, and it's like we kind of cover some, but there's like 2 big ones. It's so hard to choose between these 2, because one is representative to 100%ing the game, which is probably would be but the other one is like story related. I'll go with 100% since this one is like more unique. So 100% of the game, and it took a lot of time. I enjoyed going back to the world, seeing what changed. Some things changed. It was easy in terms of navigating because you can just teleport between ways, and it tells you when you got the collectibles in that area. So that wasn't too bad. But when you get 100% for the game, so there's a separate one. So when you get let's see, all of the figments, vaults, half of mines, etc. The reward you get for that is, you've probably seen it. It's like a level 101. You have unlimited psychic powers, so you can like use anything without any cooldowns. So you see the issue with that, right? Well, this is only after you get every figment and every collectible. You're basically done with the game. You have unlimited psychic stuff that you can do, but you already beat it. So it's like, I mean, you can go back in the world, but all the mines are like pretty much done.
Yeah.
So I wish it was like a new game plus.
Oh, there's not?
Where you
Interesting.
No.
Okay.
Well, no, new game plus, higher difficulty, but you keep everything you've unlocked.
Yes.
That
That would be
really
great, because
nice.
I would
That'd be
actually
cool.
probably play through the game a second time just to mess around with like how broken it could be. Because Toby, so I'm not sure if McMahon or Tailman play Ratchet and Clank, but that's like a great example.
Any of those games.
It's an awesome example.
That was my game back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
I think my game at the time was like, what game was I playing at the time? No, definitely not Ratchet and Clank. Never mind.
so you know how you can just go back in those games and pretty much new game plus pretty much carry over everything
Yep.
to start again. I wanted that for Psychonauts
Dang.
so bad.
They're only on their 16th year.
Yeah, and also you know what you get for getting all the scavenger stuff,
Wait,
which
what do you
also ties into this. You get your clothes back from Psychonauts 1 that Norma took.
Oh, yeah.
So this makes it even worse. Like, it was sick, one. There's a new game plus to play through the whole game in those clothes with the unlimited psychic abilities, but there wasn't anything.
So not really worth the completionist run.
I mean, I still
Like compared to other games, like value.
Oh no. That's just like a flex, pretty much.
Unlucky.
Flex piece.
Unlucky.
Yeah, I wish you got like something special.
Bro, we had 17 years. Okay.
It's like, if you're gonna make me go through getting all these collectibles, like, and there's like a ton of collectibles to get, too much. But if you're gonna make us go through all that, I want something like godly,
Like the COD of War.
yeah, something fun, like something that's like
A funny
fun
skin
to do.
or something, or
Yeah, that new game plus would have it would have just helped a lot. Unfortunately, but yeah. Next.
All right. The only thing I can think of one thing that comes to mind when that I don't like about Ocelauts was Nora. I mean,
Yeah, me too. I don't like Mora and Ocelauts. Overwatch.
I don't like Nora in Psychonauts.
Norma?
Norma, sorry, yeah, I'm bad with names. Norma.
So he doesn't remember her name.
I know so much I don't like her. That's the only thing I don't like about the game. The only blemish on this game was her. She didn't need to exist.
And why?
She thinks you're the spy. She takes the clothes. She tries to make the car. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I did all these like mentally scarring things to you. Let me try and help you with a little piece of water. Like, what the heck could you mean? No. If there's one thing I genuinely didn't like about the game, I think would probably be how at times I feel like the game was a little bit padded in some places. Like having to get the same, like 3 things in the same level sometimes. Like I felt like that was just, maybe that's just me. Maybe you don't notice that, but I felt like some parts were kind of forcing you to backtrack when I felt like it could have been done after like maybe 2 times in the same level or something. Maybe that's just me though. I feel like a little bit of backtracking was needed here and there, more than there should have been.
Hey, you know what? At least this game, whenever you had to quote unquote backtrack, there were times where they would actually just teleport you back to the central point, like the library level,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Or provide shortcuts back or something. So they were.
I mean, then again,
this is way better than Psychonauts 1.
Okay, well, I guess again in the game's defense, I also have a penchant of making things more difficult than they need to be. Like one example was you know the part in the typewriter area where you had to type in Lucy's name?
Yeah.
I was looking for the keys, right? And I was like, oh crap, there's only 3 keys here. And so I thought the 4th key was like across the entire level. So I made my way back to the entire beginning of the level where you find that one key out of nowhere. I bring it back and it doesn't work. I'm like, what the heck? And it turns out that the last key I needed, which was the Y key, was like right behind the thing. I'm like, okay. So I put it in there and I typed out the Lucy name. But I wasted like 30 minutes trying to backtrack my way to get that one key I thought was it, but wasn't. It was actually the whole time.
That's great.
I had to like find the time bubble that jumps on those letters. And then to find out the key was actually there the whole time, I'm like, what is this, man? What is this?
Great.
I hate this.
How did that happen? Because it's like highlighted, the keys.
Listen, I told you, man. I think to sometimes miss the obvious. Okay, I can be oblivious at times. The
keys are the journeys we make along the way. That's what they say.
Miss me with that.
What did everyone type in typewriter?
Very.
Were you supposed to?
That's an Alan Wake, by the way.
You can type in whatever you want.
You can type whatever you want?
And I sure did.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were only supposed to Lucy.
What? I think I have a screenshot.
I would have put piss.
I'll share it with you guys later.
Okay.
I didn't know you could type other things. I thought the game was only saying, hey, type these 4 only.
Honestly, when I got that typewriter, I thought that was just there, as an optional thing. Like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like it.
I'm so mad.
It's okay, man. You made it through. See, you're in the recording. You did it.
Yeah, but I didn't have to go all the way back there if I just turned around and look. Oh, there's the last key. I'm like, seriously? I didn't. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
I always try to look at behind things.
It'll be okay. The bad typewriter's gone.
No, it's not. It's in my mind. It haunts my dreams now.
All right. Gotcha, man. No worries. We'll get you ice cream cone later.
Okay. So maybe I missed something. Maybe I didn't. But I thought, and I talked about this with Akuso actually, just to confirm, because like I know like some of the people in this recording have played the other Psychonauts games, because apparently there's 2. I knew there was the first one. I didn't know there was an in-between one.
Oh yeah, the VR one.
Yeah, I didn't know that was real. I didn't know that happened. I thought that was still attached to the first thing. But it felt weird that you just sort of learn that his sister is also a psychic, I guess. And like I wasn't sure if the dad was hinted at or like explained anywhere in the previous games. I just know that he actually did have more of a role, not even a big role, just apparently had a more role than the rest of the family in the first game. And I don't know if anything happened in the technical second game, but it just felt like story-wise, it was like it's stuttering, not stuttering. What the heck? It was not unnerving. It just threw me off because I'm just like,
yeah.
Did he already know? Like, how much time has passed? Because it's like 3 days had passed for the VR part of the game, right?
Yeah, it's all within a week.
Yeah, so like this hasn't been a long time. So I'm like, at what point did he find out that his sister was a psychic? Was it because she threw that pine cone at him super aggressively? But like, wouldn't he be more shocked, I guess? And then like his dad was casually trying to set a pine cone on fire. I just felt like I love everything else about like their family, like the story with them, how they end up showing up and stuff like that, and having them kind of away and have side quests with them and coming together towards the end, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like even as someone who didn't play those previous games, it just feels wrong to just throw it out there like that. And not like even just like a little bit of like an in-between thought idea where it's just like how he realized like A slight reference would have been fine. That was my biggest peeve, I guess.
It's difficult because, in game time, it's only been a few days, but it's been 16 years since the first game. Like, I can't even tell you, because I know they made references to Raz's family in the first game and how his parents absolutely hated him for being a psychic. But I can't tell you about the siblings because I cannot remember. It's been such a long time. But yeah, I see where you're coming from. So you're saying like you kind of wished there was more lead up into those reveals, I guess.
Like when the siblings show up with the rest of the family and everything, it's like I was totally fine. I got the gist of who everyone was, but that specific detail of some of his family members also being psychic was just sort of like, you should already know this. Here you go. Like, this was just a given. Like, I feel like they fleshed out the characters pretty well for like how little time they actually had in the main story. Especially if you did the side quests, like you got to know them a little better, like the little quirks, the conversations, like that was honestly enough without overdoing it. But those big psychic details, I feel like could have been given the same amount of love and fleshiness, I guess.
All right. Sounds good.
I almost said that when you get stuck in a weird crevice, you can't get out, like when you're using the levitation ball. But most of the time, they actually came up with a fix for that, where you just sort of stop levitating on the ball and you can kind of get out. That was originally what my dislike was, and then I played that part, and I'm like, no, throw that out the window. This bothered me.
Okay.
The storytelling is amazing, except for that one tiny detail.
And then how would you improve it then?
Literally just in since I don't think there's that many side quests, and very few, like I think two of them technically involve any of his family, but they're like really minor like details for those characters. It was like his younger brother Queepy or something. Mm-hmm. And his older brother, what the frick is his name? The other guy, the older son, yeah.
You played the game, I swear.
I can't remember his name. Why am I blanking right now?
His name was Blaz. As in Big Brother Blaz. I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Blaz Blue. Anyway, but one of them was like literally looking for your younger sibling for your mom, and then the other one is just helping your brother set up the tent, right? Like you get some backstory in there from those conversations, but I think if they were to add like even like a side quest, like a mini side quest, like they don't have to be as long, as lengthy, or as intensive of exploration needed as some of the other side quests in Psychonauts 2. But even just giving maybe all the siblings or one of the family members just something where it would give them a way to sort of catch themselves on why those details aren't surprising to Raz, you know? Like why does he already like act so nonchalant about it? It would just be good. Like because even if they made him act like so casual, like, oh my gosh, like why don't you just stop throwing things at me? And then two, why don't you become a psychonaut to his sister or whatever? That could all be sort of answered with why he knows with a side quest, you know? It's just like, okay, why the heck does he know? Oh, he knows because this. But then it would also give more playtime, more fleshing out of characters, and just add to the nice heft of lore that this world has and stuff. Like they can create an entire theoretical in the mind palace, I guess. It's a small world version of Grulovia, I guess, but they couldn't tell you in the span of 30 seconds of a conversation how Raz knows that some of his family members are also psychic. Just saying. And like in a way, it's explained how the family has psychics in there because of ending things. But that still doesn't explain how Raz found out, since that isn't till afterward.
Yeah.
So just Side quests fix everything, man.
More side
It's
quests.
It's like, oh frick, I have a plot hole here. Let me just. There you go.
What is your final verdict and final rating from 0 to 10 using a 0.5 scale?
Okay, Psychonauts 2. This game, man. It's this freaking game.
Freaking game, dude.
What a ride, bro. What a ride. I never played the first one. I kind of wish I did. But when I was a kid, the title, the picture art, it just didn't appeal to me back then. It was Raz kind of freaked me out a little bit.
That was a scary looking game cover.
Yeah. But he grew on me in this game, but oh my god.
Same here.
Right? Okay, it's not
He
just
looked weird on the cover. I thought he was like, uh-oh.
Dude.
Yeah.
And we'll take
First
a look
time I
at
seen him, I was like,
Like, why is his head so
Yeah.
big?
Yeah, why is the character design so odd? And I'm like, what the heck?
Well, at least he's not as semi-deformed unlike the other characters out there in the Psychonauts world.
Yeah.
At least their
God bless
eyes
their
are on the
hearts,
same
man.
axis. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, but yeah, there's
Never had
so
a
many
rope.
things to touch up on in this game, and it makes it so hard to summarize. But all in all, it was a pleasant and unforgettable experience for me. I mean, level design, that was masterclass. You can't deny that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be paying much attention, or if any at all, just to notice the sheer amount of love and attention and to detail that the designers put into every single element of each and every level. I mean, the comedy and the humor was a chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
It was always on point. You know, the comedy in the game it always felt so fresh. It was just the perfect amount.
Yeah.
It was just like not too lame, and it wasn't too cringy either. But I mean, it was pulled off flawlessly, and it had me cackling like a jackass in some parts. But the characters, in Psychonauts 2, they were really well fleshed out, and they all had their own full-on personalities, and that's expected. But it really helped me feel closer with each character, and really let me empathize with each and every single one of them. I mean, there are so many things that this game did right, and as a matter of fact, as far as the game goes as a whole, I mean, there really isn't anything I could find that this game didn't do right. At least that I couldn't see. But aside from the skills that I mentioned earlier, there is one other negative thing that I just remembered, and I wanted to mention that. But it's not really a problem with the game either. At least I don't think it is. But it's more a problem with myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try my best to explain it because it sounds good in my head. But you discover the end goal pretty early on in the game, right? Like, you know what you need to do, you know what needs to be done, and you know what your mission is. You need to defeat Maligula, and as you progress more and more towards your goal in the real world, outside of people's minds, there are so many obstacles and mines that you have to overcome before you reach the ending. And I get it. That's the whole premise of the game. Dive into people's minds, and that's where you spend a majority of the time. But in the back of my mind, I'm just sitting there like, yo, Maligula's waiting for me, dog. Like, let me get at him. But Raz is like, yo, I'm gonna hop in this dude's mind right quick. And I'm just like, oh, bro, you serious right now?
He's not even part of the story, but he's like, nah, fix it. Why not? Like, what the heck?
It's like, oh, this looks like fun. I'm gonna go in here. I'm like, you don't need to do that. It's not necessary. But like this can't wait till later. But I mean, no, it all tied up really well. And this just ended up making me feel like kind of impatient with the game. Yeah, so roughly halfway through the game, I started to like kind of speed run to finish the levels because I just really I knew what I needed to do, but I just needed to overcome this obstacle first. And I was very well aware of the fact that I was rushing through the game, and I couldn't help myself because I was losing my patience. But anyway, that was just me. That was just another thing. But I mean, aside from that, overall, this game was incredible. And I just really wish I could take my time to truly appreciate the game. And I sincerely couldn't find anything fundamentally wrong with the game itself. My only gripes against the game were subjective to me and only me, really, and nothing against the developers in any sense. And In the end, I give Psychonauts 2 a 10 out of 10.
Dang.
And I think this is my first perfect score, and I'll gladly hand it to Psychonauts 2 without a second thought.
Well deserved.
Yeah,
Dang,
and
better than It Takes Two.
Oh, remember he didn't do
It Takes
book club
Two.
with us. With It Takes Two. That was just
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He did put
but
my
I
sister,
did play
though.
it. I did play it, yes. And the only times that I think were a 10 out of 10 in my book, okay, I only think that a 10 out of 10 would be deserved to a game where, I can't see how it could be any better than the way it is in its current state.
Mhm.
And that's Psychonauts 2 for me. Everything felt flawless, and it was just, the experience overall was incredible. But that's it. 10 out of 10. Psychonauts 2. Amazing. Next.
Awesome. Thank you. It's funny. You're 10 out of 10. Yeah. I
didn't expect
it's
that.
very rare actually for people to drop 10s, and I'm glad you gave your first 10.
There it is.
All right, awesome. Okay. So, final verdict, final rating. Okay. So, the fact that this game even exists is a miracle in itself, if I'm being honest. And anyone who has known me, I've mentioned this so many times. Like the first time Psychonauts was released back in 2005, and despite it, being a critically acclaimed, successful game, score-wise, scores were great, and anyone who played it loved the game. It was unfortunately a complete and utter failure in terms of sales. I looked it up. By the end of its first year, 2005 to 2006, the game had sold a total of only 100,000 copies. And by the end of March 2012, that's a lot of time between the release date and 2012, it only sold 400,000 copies. Now, I bet you're all thinking, hey, that's not that bad, man. They sold a lot. The truth of the matter is that may sound like a lot of revenue, but when you consider the fact that the game itself had a total budget of $11.5 million,
Oh wow!
you can see why they were so hesitant to do a sequel. Add in the fact that the $11.5 million in total, it was in development hell. Like it was, if you read into it, it had such a troubled development history. Like it went through
how much the second game was?
I didn't look up the second game. I know how much. I know it raised a lot though. But yeah, the fact that the game went through a pretty rough development cycle. There were issues about office space concerns and safety. There was a lot of crunch time. I hate that word, but a ton of crunch time had to take place for it to even get released. And you got yourself a pretty cursed game. And the publisher that published the game, I forgot. They're the same people who did Cookie Mama, which is funny. This publisher actually ended up backing away from the console market completely because of this.
Wow.
It wasn't good.
Oh wow.
I wish I wrote it down, but I forgot to write it down. But yeah, here we are 16 years later, and Psychonauts 2 is alive, and well, thanks to the backing and funding of fans and everyone who believed in the Psychonauts 2 project. And I gotta say, man, it was definitely worth the wait. This game is an absolute joy to play. Noxo and I, we joke about it all the time, but this game is the freaking Shrek 2 of video games. Everything that we loved about Psychonauts 1 has been taken, grabbed, and cradled respectfully. It was tossed into a big boiling stew of delicious goodness, and it's just cranked up to 11. The end product is one hell of a 3D platforming action adventure game. The combat upgraded and built upon in every possible way. It feels cleaner, feels smoother, and there are just more options when it comes to fighting and exploring. Add in that freaking pin system, and you got yourself an additional layer to the gameplay and exploration. I'm so glad the pin system wasn't just increase stat here, increase stat there. It actually changed up how attacks looked and felt and what they actually did. So kudos to them on that. Characters and their story, my God. Things we thought would never get touched on in Psychonauts 1. Things that were just referenced, like the Quado Curse, Raz's family, the actual Psychonauts group, what they look like, their headquarters, like all of that got touched upon, with consent in Psychonauts 2. Like this isn't even a sequel to Psychonauts 1 anymore. This isn't just a series of mind-warping levels. Psychonauts 2 has essentially created an actual world, an actual universe. Like it's believable. Like it's very difficult for games to establish. Like a lot of games try to do this. They try to establish a world and lore, do textbooks and text chat. But this game, it actually felt like an actual world, and the lore is just seeping out of the butt crack of this game. Like, I truly believe that there can be a Psychonauts 3 based off what they've established. There's so much that they can explore still in this universe. The whole like Grolovia thing. Like, we got a whole fully developed nation. I was like, oh my God.
Still got the Deluge out there somewhere.
Yeah, the Delusionists are still out there.
Got Psy King's body to get back.
Yeah.
I forgot about Delusionists.
There's just, it's just like, it's so interesting because it's like this game, it leaves you wanting more. I want to see, and I'm pretty sure you guys want to see another Psychonauts game. Like, this is such a great foundation. I want it to take it to the next level with the Psychonauts 3, and I definitely believe in Tim Schafer and his team. Like, because who knows? Maybe it will happen because I know this game did tremendously well compared to the first game.
Way better.
Yeah. So this is easy. This is the easiest 9 out of 10 I'm going to give out. Psychonauts 2 definitely deserves it. Kudos to Tim Schafer and his team. It was a rough journey to get here, but you guys absolutely crushed it. So 9 out of 10 from me. Next.
Okay, so yeah, there were some issues like some navigational issues, but aside from that, there's not much problems I can see. And the game is good, the story is good, characters are good, and every characters that you help, it's not that long, not too short. It seems kind of right for going through their mind, and I like the art, the music, even the trippy one in Helmet's Mind. Jeez, but yeah, I'm gonna give this 9 brains out of 10.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Next.
It's been 16 years.
16.
Wow. When I played the game, when I first started it and like seen the intro cutscene, not gonna lie, actually, my eyes got watery. I was like, so like, I never thought this would happen, like, ever.
Yeah.
It's like to a game that I played a lot, growing up, especially like during some tough times. It was like a game that I found randomly. I rented, and eventually I bought it later down the road. It was like great. So like, I was smiling 90%, some sadness in there of the themes of the story. But man, I was just like having a blast. I know a game is good. I said this a couple of times before. If I can like have my whole attention devoted to that game and nothing else while playing it, nothing on the side. This game and seeing all the references to the past, however, the game not whoring out the nostalgia like some other games or media does. It does it tastefully, where it references, it builds upon that, which is like amazing. And how they do it in terms of the storytelling and the strong themes, where this game is more serious than the first game in terms of like what it tackles inside the mind. It also keeps it lighthearted and the humor. It feels like if this game came out literally a few years after the first game with all the improvements. It's kind of weird. This is like, I told this to Tubby. This game is like so strange to me. It does not feel like it feels like a 2022 in terms of like how much better it looks, and like it controls a lot better than the first game. But the way the music is, the character designs, the way the levels are, and like the story and the humor, it has that raunchy humor from that era.
Yep.
But it has like all the improvements for the most part of like, current games. It feels like a mismatch of like old and new, but it's like it makes it into like such a great package. I did have some other things I wanted to touch upon. Surprisingly, I actually wanted the game to be longer. This is like one of the few times where I was like, man, I wish there was more things to tackle that they would have tackled, like the interns. I wish they really built upon those students. You don't really see them that much between the beginning when you're in a casino and like towards the end, unless you talk to them. I thought it would have been really cool if you got to know him a little bit more. I mean, there's like some side quests and stuff, but if they helped you each one with like different minds, so by the end when they come back and help you again, it kind of builds upon that. And also with Raz's family, his father and stuff, I kind of wish they were more involved with the plot in terms of helping out a little bit more besides the end. Those were the only things that really stood out to me majorly in terms of like something like, yeah, I wish they could have done it a little bit more for like a few more hours or something. However, what they did give us was a wonderful love letter to those who have played it, and also giving us to a new generation of platformers and people who may have not played the first game. So I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. It really made me feel like a Psychonaut intern.
Unpaid Psychonaut.
Unpaid Psychonaut intern. I think my favorite part was when he was apologizing. And then he was like, you know what, I'll go pack my stuff. He was like, oh, Raz, you don't have to do that. I was like, you're right. I didn't bring any stuff. I'll just leave. That part got me so good. But yeah, it's that kind of humor that you mentioned. Like, it just works. The writing is really good. I love the humor in this game. And
I forgot to mention that the. Oh wait, I'll let Tammy continue. Sorry.
All right.
Go for it.
No, I almost forgot that was the voice actor of Billy and Mandy, the character Billy.
Oh, Raz?
Yeah.
Wasn't he also the voice actor for
Invader Zim?
Invader Zim, yeah, and what's the other one? The dog thingy, his assistant, Invader Zim, and anyways, I don't know the show, so I'm not gonna pretend to know. Druki. The one who anyways. Okay, so my turn, I guess. All right. Well, I'm not really familiar with platforming games. In fact, I don't really play platformer games. In fact, this game might actually be the one I actually played and completed in terms of that genre. The only last one I could think of that I played to any degree was probably, let me think. In terms of platforming, I think this game might be the only one I completed that was a platformer. The last one I can think of is probably.
Did you finish
Legend of Zelda?
Guacamelee?
No, I never did.
No,
I never finished Guacamelee.
First Control. That had platforming sections, elements.
I was thinking about like a dedicated, like intentionally designed platforming game.
Probably not.
Like, yeah, I think this is the first game I ever completed that was a platforming game. The only other one I could think of was probably the closest to that would probably be Legend of Zelda, but I don't think that's even close to a platforming game.
Has elements.
Has elements, yeah. But anyways, so going off of that, since this is the only game that I remember in any sort of vague history, for any platforming game, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I never played the first one, but I do know the plot of it. And what I do like about this game is it didn't rely on the first game. So for those who didn't play the first one, I didn't feel alienated at all, to not having played the first one, because it's so different in its own right that you don't really need to play the first one to understand what's going on. It'll help set the characters up, but the characters on their own in this game, you could play this game for the first time and you don't really feel like you're missing out on too much. They might make references to the first game, but it doesn't feel like it's needed. It's like more of a side. Like, didn't you just do this video? That was a new me. I'm like, oh, okay. so I was like, okay, so that's nice. I really enjoyed that they actually took the time to make it its own thing enough to where you don't have to rely on the first game to understand what's going on, So, and on top of that, like it was already mentioned, the writing was great. The way they handled themes in this game, were really were good. They really did it in a way that you can understand it, but not to where it felt like they were poking fun. They're actually what's it called, acknowledging it as an actual thing. It's not just a little thing to brush aside. There's even a warning in the beginning of the game. It deals with heavy topics, and they sure weren't kidding, especially when you get later on in the game. I'm like, oh, they weren't kidding. So it's great that they actually took a little bit of a dive into the whole psyche behind all that and sort of took their own what's it called, their own approach to how, dealing with it in a sort of literal, non-literal kind of way. And the controls were very spot on. I played both half of the game, both on controller and keyboard, and I didn't feel like I was having any trouble at all playing either or platform. And the fact you can customize is also great. Only gripes, like I said, I felt like maybe at some parts the game would be a little padded, but I feel like maybe that's just me because I'm not really used to platforming games and then all their nuances. So that could just me personally. Another thing I didn't like was some of the minor things, like basically switching out your abilities every single time between, exploration mode and battle, sections. That kind of took me out of it a little bit, but not enough to where it made me not want to play. So that was another thing that sort of hindered me a little bit. And other than that, really, that's the only two things I can think of that I didn't like, but everything else was great about the game. That I could tell. I enjoyed it very much. And I wasn't expecting to enjoy it for what it was, considering it was a platforming game, because I don't really play those kind of games. But I did enjoy the level of detail they included, like how Tubby and I we both mess around with the NPCs and all that and explore the levels. So there's a lot to explore in this game and enjoy. So so for that, I give the game a 8.5 out of 10.
While I never played the first Psychonauts or the VR Psychonauts, I still don't even have a VR prior to this video game book club month, but I could really tell just how beloved this franchise is and how much thought, haha, puns, was put into not only the style of gameplay, the characters, the designs of the mines that you actually enter, just basically every layer of this game, music. I almost say choreography.
The choreography of the dances.
The abilities.
Uh-huh.
And just like, at least for the controller felt good. Like I didn't have to really like force myself into like, oh gosh, what is this button choice? It felt good. Everything was layer after layer. It was loved. And it really translates from 16 years ago how, I heard it flopped back then, but
Oh yeah.
I don't trust a lot of reviewers nowadays.
Oh no, it was critically praised. It flopped sales wise, actually.
Okay. See,
yeah.
There we go. I don't trust the sales numbers.
Yeah, I go into a big topic about that during my section of the recording.
Oh, good.
You'll see it or hear
then
it.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry. But it's just after this many years, the biggest worry would be like, could it even hold up to the original? Could it be as good? And could it even be better? I haven't played the original games, but I would love to know so I can tell you for sure.
Oh, it blows the original out of the water.
I think so too, and I only saw the milkman scene.
It is
That's all I know.
Like how we said in the first recording session. I said it was the Shrek 2 of of
Shrek
video
2
games.
is superior.
Yeah.
Is the superior Shrek. So like, but that makes me want to play the first one, so I can just be
definitely.
like, yes.
Highly recommend still playing the first one.
This is good.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you don't play the first one, the second one is just so solid. And I literally keep saying this because that's how good this game was in every aspect. Minus that one weird detail about the sister just casually being a psychic. And like slight clunky button usage for me, but I don't know if that's because I suck at the game or not. But really, this game is just so good. If you don't need to know a lot of psychology. You don't need to go to the 101 psych course in your community college. You just need this game, because when you have those doubts in your head, just set them on fire.
There you go.
And I give this game 9.
Wait, why are you laughing?
Because I don't know. It sounded very German. Like I said,
9.
Yeah.
Sasha 9.
Exactly. I give this 9 bacon strips out of 10.
All right. So, with that said, Psychonauts 2 gets our final average rating of 90.83%, 54.5 out of 60. It's bonus mystery question time.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Bonus mystery questions. We're prepared ahead of time by everyone here. And if not, they're probably going to come up with one on the spot because no one knows who or what will be asking the question. It's time to spin the wheel of mystery. Here we go. Spinning the wheel. Oh, shoot. Uh-oh. It's about to get weird.
Oh!
Maybe it's about to get weird. Like that.
Well, I mean, if you know certain people and it lands on them, you kind of know what kind of question they're going to ask.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Okay. So, with that said, the bonus mystery question asker is Mr. McMahon-Meat. Take it away.
Oh.
It's about to get weird, y'all.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Oh, it's going to get weird now.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I literally wrote up this bonus mystery question like right before we started recording because I was like, because I thought I was going to be recording by myself, so I thought there was already going to be a question. But, yeah. But okay. So this is what I came up with. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Right. If you could infiltrate the mind of someone here in this recording session, who would it be? And what would you do to their mind?
Wait,
wow,
what's
that's
the
very
question?
personal. All right.
Wait,
What was the question? Sorry.
We're going there.
We're going there.
So if you were to have a power, what would it be?
No, if you could infiltrate the mind of someone here in this recording session, so out of the 5.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
who would it be?
I got mine.
And
Easy.
what would you do to their mind?
Oh, I don't know.
This is okay. All right. No, I like
Got
this. I like this. This is a great question. Okay.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
All right. Okay.
Just go into someone's mind and just destroy it.
just wreck them.
I never said I was gonna be an. I never said I was gonna be a psychonaut. I chose violence today, man.
This is a loaded question. This is very dangerous.
Yeah,
I would highly advise.
I'm bracing for attacks.
I would highly advise that when you answer this question, you be careful. You be careful. What you say can't take it back. This is in recording. I'm gonna go ahead and start the 60-second timer in 3, 2, 1. Now.
Okay. So I suppose I'm up first.
Yes,
I still don't completely have an answer, but I'm gonna wing this. Okay.
You don't have a choice.
So whose mind would I infiltrate? It would be you, Tubby.
of course.
It would be you.
I mean, you know me the
Okay.
longest. All right.
Now, what would I do to your mind?
Hell yeah.
I would make you think that it is healthier for you and beneficial to your lifestyle to I guess because of our time difference, it would be 11 p.m. for you.
Oh
And we
shoot.
get home at 2 a.m. Yeah,
no.
you would have to, you would think in your mind that it is healthy for you to sacrifice your sleep and play video games with me and your sister, so we can look forward to that
No.
when we get home from work.
That's evil, bro.
Play longer. Oh my god, that is great.
You're definitely not a Psychonaut, that's for sure.
So you would be like, oh man, it would be awesome for my health if I, sacrificed sleep and played video games with my sister.
Like an hour or so more.
That Sunday night 3-hour recording or 3-hour playing session is now 9-hour playing
It'll be
session.
like 6 or 9 hours. That's what I did in mine, man. I'm sorry. I had to do it to you.
I respect
But
it.
You must be doing dirty, huh? That's messed up.
you dirty boy.
I thought you were gonna say I would infiltrate your mind and make you think that what you want to do is move over to the East Coast. So I'm on the same timeline as Nakaso and you.
Oh, dang.
That would be beneficial too.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna be here and looking at staying up all night, and gonna be up all night and just see Tubby still awake. Like, wait, why is he still awake? And it's like, oh crap, he's on the other side of the states.
The funny thing is, Nakaso, remember how I was like telling you that when we go down to Virginia visit my sister McMahon meet, you do only live like 3 hours away, actually. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, if that happened, move to East Coast.
Yeah.
Ghost?
Oh shoot! Well, I respect that. You'd ask me first, right?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely not.
You just goes into your mind and just
Are you
messes it
kidding
up.
me? Why would I ask? You would think it's healthy for you.
Oh, you're right. That is the healthy decision. F
You do
responsibility.
it on your own.
Oh, you're right. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's it. All right, next.
All right. My target, my psycho sensing target. I love you, man. Tail man.
Uh-oh.
So,
No, what are you gonna do?
what would I
Run.
do?
Uh-oh,
So,
here we go. Let's hear it.
Without even asking, because you'll thank me for it later, I would dive deep into the recesses of your mind. Not too deep, because I don't want to go that far.
You're gonna see my Meligula.
God knows what's in there.
I'm not. I know where the line is drawn. I'm not going to go to that portion of your brain. I'm going to let you enjoy that portion of your brain. The other portion of your brain,
The other portion of his brain.
specifically the portion of your brain involving YouTube
Oh, okay.
and your craft, the cardboard gun craft. What
Yeah.
I would do is we all know you already have the talent and the gift for it. I mean, you've heard me say this for years, over a decade. No, it's not that. I would go into your mind and try to find out what is it that's blocking, that's creating a blockage that's preventing you from fully going for it. Because I've seen you go hard at your, because it's your dream. I've seen you go hard when it comes to doing the whole cardboard craft. We know for a fact that it is a successful endeavor. It can be. We know that other cosplayers, based on all the conventions we've been to, they love it. I mean, they keep asking for your Instagram and stuff like that. So there's something there. So I would go into your mind, alter it for at least a 1 year, and remove whatever blockage there is that's preventing you from fully going like 110% commit towards your craft.
Like 100%, 110% for it. Like what's
like every day you're driven and you want to just keep going for it.
Okay.
Because that's the thing that I would do, because I like I said before, I believe that you can do it. I know you have the skills. I know that when you're talking about it, I can see that passion light up in your eyes, because I know when you're talking to other cosplayers, I can see that excitement that you have. You're explain to them your process, and it's just like, I want that for you, but to go further. So so that's what I would do. More of like a positive reinforcement. And
well, hey, at least it ain't being like destructive. And hey, you should stay up longer.
Oh no, you're definitely gonna stay up longer, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna be so dead set on achieving it. You're just gonna go insane in a healthy, positive way.
I only get like 2 hours of sleep on average now.
That's okay. Worth it.
Constantly editing.
So that would be mine. I would infiltrate your mind, make some new mental connections, and really, at least for a year, you know, this isn't permanent, to see how far you can take it, to take your take your dream. Amen.
Okay.
Next. See, nothing bad.
Boy.
Nothing bad yet. It's only been 2 people. There's 3 more people in this roster. Anything can happen.
All right.
Jeez, I don't know who my target is really. Do I have a beef? Do I have
your target or your patient?
You're
both. Yes.
Okay.
Well, you only got 4 people to choose from, so. TikTok.
Okay.
No pressure.
I will choose Nakuso.
Oh,
interesting.
All right. Let's hear it. I'm actually
I'm very curious.
Yeah, what's gonna go on here?
What you got?
Let's see. I haven't really thought of it fully, but I'm thinking with every new character that might be coming out that you might like, I'll just I will rewrite what you were gonna focus for, and just only make you do every 10 pulls of weapon banners.
Oh my god, that is evil.
What is he talking about? Can someone fill me in? What is he talking about?
He's referring to Genshin Impact. Instead of Noxo pulling for characters he actually wants, he'll make them only pull for their weapons.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
In addition, I'll make him pull for only the normal banners.
Oh my god, you monster. That's evil.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's
messed up, man. This is
only...
basically Agent Hollis all over again.
And
Genshin. And
then he'll only do one single pull on the character banner.
Okay, so it's not pure.
That's a little bit fine.
I'll be a little bit more nicer.
But with every 3-star that's in there, or a 4-star, he'll have to keep on pulling. He'll just stop pulling for the character banner that he wants. Just continues on with it.
So essentially, every patch he'll only do 10 pulls on the normal banner and 1 pull on the character banner.
Yep, 10 pulls on the weapon and or character on normal banner. 1 pull on the character character.
What did Nakaso do to you to warrant such wrath?
That's so messed up. Oh shit! All right.
What on?
And to put it in perspective, man, it takes 9. In order to get a guarantee, it's 90 pulls.
90 pulls? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
God. God.
So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. So.
Oh, he's coming after you.
He's like, I'm actually changing my target.
You know what? Naka's like, I was gonna go for this guy, but now you next. I'm going after you.
All right. Mental connection has been established. All right, go ahead, Noxo.
Oh no!
Wow.
I'm gonna make some comments or something. I don't know.
Wow. My target, luckily, is in here. I'm going to say what I really want to say.
All right, go for it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, man, you should have went for him.
No.
Because I am.
Nah, this joke. Gotta be careful.
Be careful.
Forever hold your pizza.
Hold that pizza.
Rest in pieces, boy.
It's in his voice call right now, right?
Hey, what was your question again?
It's in this recording, like as we're talking.
It had to be in this recording session.
Yeah, but I suppose we could also include Bajorwin.
Yeah, I mean, technically, she's in the recording session. She's just in a different group.
Wow.
It's a very long pause. Very long pause.
No.
Uh-oh.
No. I'm gonna switch my target.
Okay.
It's gonna be Tubby.
Why me again?
That's two for Tubby. Good lord.
Oh,
Damn,
man.
no one's going after McMahon me.
All right, what you got? Listen, I'm already sleep deprived, so
I need to know McMahon meet more. Maybe in 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm
my
gonna go-
Tubby's mine. I'm gonna follow with Genshin Impact because this is gonna be funny.
Oh god.
No, I got so gave me that idea. I'm gonna make it so that
Oh god.
Tubby hates Claymore characters in Genshin. And he only pause for 4 stars.
Oh my god. That's
No,
evil.
not Claymore or Archons, by the way.
Oh.
Oh.
Ouch.
And and then upon that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have it so you actually only use 3-star artifacts.
Wow. You monster.
That's just evil. That is so evil.
Oh, that is super evil.
Thank you.
I thought mine was worse, but jeez.
No. I'm sleep deprived and my RNG is terrible.
Oh, and don't. Oh,
All right.
can I add something to that one, Nakaso?
Hey,
Don't-
no, you're done.
Oh,
You're done.
Hey, you're done.
lost
You
your
stop.
door.
Stop doubting people's minds. You're done. You good.
Get out.
I'm done.
Okay.
You're expelled from this mine.
All right, Joe, man. So bring it home, dude.
If I was to choose one, all right, I'll just go. I'm gonna go into EJ's
It's on
mind.
mine.
I'm gonna go into my own mind. I'm curious. I'm gonna go ask myself, why are you like this? Why are you like this? Why? Why are you doing this, man?
Why am I here?
Why are you here?
Just a suffer.
I need to give myself a pep talk. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Okay, I'll meet you in there.
No. To answer the question, to be serious, I'm gonna go to EJ's mind, ask him, why are you doing this, man? Why? Why are you doing this? Tell me. Why are you doing this? Dirty?
Why I'm doing this?
No. Soul directed it towards Nakuso.
I mean,
Soul was trying to tack on intrusive thoughts.
okay. I must have
that was
okay. Never mind.
Soul to Nakuso, Nakuso to me.
Okay. I misinterpreted that. Never mind. Disregard that. I'm gonna go into Tubby's mind
Oh
and
God.
tell him that it's not healthy to stay up extra late and go to sleep at a reasonable and don't and try not to pull for non-claymores. Go for all the claymores.
Dang. He's reverting it.
Dang, Tailman's gonna be like my psychic soldier in my brain.
He's a
God,
he's
it's
a
gonna be
positive
PvP.
reinforcement right there. He's the enabler.
It is PvP. It's PvP. It's a freaking mind
brain.
battleground. Yeah.
It's a battle for attrition right now.
Jesus.
And then when I'm done with Tubby, I'm going for Mr. McMahon for asking him, why are you doing this? Why?
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 Are you doing this? Why? That's all I'm gonna do.
Oh my
I just
God.
pop up into your mind and I just ask you, why? And then I just leave. And I won't elaborate. Why?
Oh jeez. Well, that was
I come
great.
in,
That was
say
good.
why, refuse to elaborate.
You just leave. Just bounce.
Yeah. Sleep.
Get those smelling salts.
I'm gonna need more than one.
Oh man.
This is gonna sound strange,
All right, let's hear it.
but hold up, I'm falling out of my chair. I actually I'm gonna stick with the first thing I had in my brain, and I said Tubby's mind.
Right, and okay. Everyone else
What?
targeted me.
No one else?
No, a lot of people did.
Oh, they did.
Yep.
Oh,
All right, what you
Dang.
got? What you got?
okay. Well, because like
Let's hear it.
other than-
My mind is pretty shattered right now.
yeah, because other than my own brother, you're the person I've known the longest.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
I feel like there's still a layer I might not ever see, and I'm curious.
All right, go ahead.
So it's like, trying to think, how do I explain this without sounding like hella sus? But like,
it's great.
The way.
You better be careful. What you say is going to be forever implanted in everyone's brains and in this recording.
True. But basically, I feel like I know you in so many different layers of life, but I also just don't always know what you're internally thinking.
Fair enough. Clairvoyance?
I just want to be able to know sometimes, like, when are you feeling a certain thing, and then also like what would actually trigger you to do that thing? Because for example, you felt burnt out because of Video Book Club and all the recording the videos and all that stuff, and now we're on podcast, right? So I'm just like, okay, but like if we could find what was burning him, I mean, I understand what burned you out, but like if we can change in your brain the thing that makes you not feel burnt out, then we could just crush all these videos so fast. And then we have more content.
Oh, I see. So remove that part of the brain that's creating the blockage.
Yeah, or I would just be able to see like what's triggering you to like feel the burnout, and then instantly know how to change that in your outside world and be like, bam.
Dang.
Because I was already in your brain, right? Like I would know, like, okay, this is how he's feeling today.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah! So the game plan is no sleep, no more sleep, get rid of sleep, and no more work. No more work.
Oh yeah, and then I would change while I'm in there. You'd still do that funny arm thing you do when you're tired, but you don't actually feel as tired. I want you to keep doing that because it's funny. But you can, like, when at the moment you start to feel tired, you actually have 5 hours left of energy.
Holy crap!
Because we gotta binge some of these TV shows.
Sure, you're right. You're right.
We have to finish Persona 5 Strikers.
Oh yeah, I'm on it already.
Yeah. See, so it's like we just gotta take. If someone could go into my brain and do the same thing, that'd be great. But like, because,
remove the limitations.
But then, like, not really have that, like, side effect of like actually probably going insane. Kind of like what happened to what's her name?
Oh, here we go. Go ahead.
Lesserhead. Wait, no, it's right there. I can smell it.
What's it smell like?
Smells like bacon. What's her name? The lesser head. The acting head. Her name. Yeah, the one with the casino hospital. Yeah, her. Yeah, I forgot her name. Gosh dang it. And okay, in my defense, she was earlier, her mind was earlier in the game, so of course I'm going to forget. I'm just saying.
All right.
Just saying. At least I remembered Helmut.
Helmut? Yeah, but her.
Yeah. Yeah, her. She kind of went crazy, So instead of going the crazy, you're just extremely we can easily change the setting, the surroundings, and you're like, for some reason I am remotivated.
For some reason, I just want to pump out recordings and book club videos.
I want to, for some reason, I want to play this game while also doing all of these other things I have to do, but I don't feel tired.
I like that. I like that manipulation. I mean, my body would probably collapse, but... No,
that's why I said, like, well, we're going to take out that crazy part.
Oh, okay. So I still have some limitation in place.
Yeah, like, just so that you don't... Like, like...
So you don't die.
Yeah, like, as soon as you start to feel that tired, you can still keep going, but then you'll have such a good sleep. You'll have such a good sleep, and you won't oversleep, you won't undersleep, and then you'll be ready to I almost said commit arson, but but you'll be able to do more things the next day, and then we'll have finished our entire backlog of animes.
And then commit arson. We're just joking, by the way. We don't actually endorse arson here. Maybe on YouTube, but not here. What?
Maybe in Minecraft, but
it's a joke. It's a joke. We're joking. We are sane of mind, and it was just a joke. All right, cool.
I mean, yeah, you'd only know if you attached a door to my head and find out yourself, huh?
All right, okay. Let's cosplay next convention. We'll just have doors on our heads.
Yes.
Easy.
That's so easy. Maybe I have cardboard too.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate the thoughtfulness of removing those inhibitors from my brain. And yes, we shall now do 3. We're gonna do 1 recording every day for next week. Okay.
Oh, dang.
All right, let's do it.
Right now.
Right here, right now. Maybe later.
Now I'm curious what other people were changing in your head.
Oh, you'll see. You'll see.
Oh God!
Thank you, Mr. McMahon, for that question.
welcome.
Well done, everyone. You have escaped cancellation this time. For now. This is the PG.
For now.
Now, if you're part of the Patreon, we'll go into the real answers we wanted to give.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
EJ,
Lord.
why are you always liking this game?
Oh God!
Anyways, let's just joke in. That concludes this episode of Video Game Book Club. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, everyone's links to their YouTubes, Twitches, Twitters, social media will be in the description box below. Take care, have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Video Game Book Club. Say goodbye, everyone.
Adios.
See ya.
Bye.
Take care of yourself and video game responsibly.
Amen.
Ramen.
Ramen.